Topic 9, Ecology. I welcome you to Topic 9, Ecology. Our learning outcome is B. Analyze the processes of ecological succession and strategies for effective ecological restoration practices in diverse environments. We are looking at learning activity A. In pairs, learners search for and discuss the role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity, techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystems, make a write-up and present their findings to the class. Role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity. Item 1. We are looking at a new volcanic island. Primary succession. A volcanic eruption creates a new island with a bare rock and no life. Task. Identify the type of succession taking place. Name the pioneer organisms likely to colonize the island. Explain how succession leads to increased biodiversity. Identify the type of succession taking place. Primary succession. Name the pioneer organisms likely to colonize the island. Lichens and mosses. Explain how succession leads to increased biodiversity. Pioneer species create soil, allowing other plants and animals to establish, increasing species diversity over time. Role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity. Item 2. Retreating glacier. After a glacier melts, exposed land is gradually colonized by plants. Task. Explain why this is an example of primary succession. State 2 changes that occur in the habitat over time. Explain why this is an example of primary succession. There was no soil or living organisms initially. State 2 changes that occur in the habitat over time. Soil depth increases and species diversity increases. Role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity. Item 3. Let's look at abandoned farmland, secondary succession. A cultivated field is abandoned and gradually turns into grassland and later woodland. Task. Identify the type of succession involved. Explain how existing soil speeds up succession. State one biodiversity benefit. Explain the type of succession involved. Secondary succession. Explain how existing soil speeds up succession. Soil already contains nutrients and seed banks. State one biodiversity benefit. Supports more plants and animal species. Role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity, item 4. Let's look at the forest after a bushfire. A forest recovers after a fire without being completely destroyed. Task. Identify the type of succession occurring. Explain how biodiversity is preserved. Identify the type of succession occurring. Secondary succession. Explain how biodiversity is preserved. Surviving seeds and roots regenerate, restoring habitats for wildlife. Role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity, item 5. Landslide area. Vegetation regrows after a landslide that leads to soil behind. Task. Explain the role of succession in ecosystem recovery. State 2 ways succession supports biodiversity. Explain the role of succession in ecosystem recovery. Succession allows gradual replacement of species. State 2 ways succession supports biodiversity. Creates habitats and food webs for diverse organisms. Role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity, item 6. Let's look at coral reef recovery. A coral reef damaged by storms gradually recovers. Task. Identify the type of succession. Explain its role in preserving marine biodiversity. Identify the type of succession. Secondary succession. Explain its role in preserving marine biodiversity. Allows recolonization of corals and fish species, restoring biodiversity. Let's now discuss techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem. Item 7. We are going to look at deforested hillside. Trees are planted on a deforested hillside to prevent erosion. Task. Identify the restoration technique used. State 2 benefits of this technique. Identify the restoration technique used. Afforestation and reforestation. State 2 benefits of this technique. Prevents soil erosion and restores habitats. Techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem. Item 8. Let's look at overgrazed grassland. A community restricts grazing to allow grass to recover. Task. Identify the restoration method. Explain how it improves biodiversity. Identify the restoration method. Controlled grazing. Explain how it improves biodiversity. Allows plant regeneration and animal return. Techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem. Item 9. Let's now look at wetland restoration. Drains blocking a wetland are removed to allow water to flow back. Task. Identify the technique used. State 2 ecological benefits. Identify the technique used. Wetland restoration / rehydration. State 2 ecological benefits. Improves water quality and supports aquatic life. Techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem. Item 10. Let's look at the riverbank protection. Vegetation is planted along river banks. Task. Name the technique used. Explain how it restores the ecosystem. Name the technique used. Riparian buffer planting. Explain how it restores the ecosystem. Reduces erosion and provides habitats. Techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem, item 11. We are going to look at invasive species removal. An invasive plant is removed from a national park. Task. Explain why this is necessary. State one benefit to native species. Explain why this is necessary. Invasive species outcompete native organisms. State one benefit to native species. Native species recover and biodiversity increases. Techniques and benefits for restoration of degraded ecosystem, item 12. We are going to look at soil improvement program. Organic manure is added to degraded soils. Task. Identify the restoration technique. Explain its role in succession. Identify the restoration technique. Soil enrichment. Explain its role in succession. It improves soil fertility, enabling plant colonization. Techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem, item 13. Let's look at artificial reef construction. Concrete structures are placed in the sea. Task. Identify the restoration method. Explain its ecological importance. Identify the restoration method. Artificial reef creation. Explain its ecological importance. Provide surfaces for coral growth and shelters marine life. Techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem, item 14. We are going to look at a community forest management. Local people manage forest resource sustainably Task: identify the conservation approach. State 2 long-term benefits. Identify the conservation approach. Community-based conservation. State 2 long-term benefits. Sustains biodiversity and livelihoods. Topic 9, and we have been looking at ecology. Thank you for participating in topic 9, ecology. We have been looking at learning outcome B, analyze the processes of ecological succession and strategies for effective ecological restoration practices in diverse environment. We have been looking at learning activity A. In pairs, learners search for and discuss the role of primary and secondary succession in preserving biodiversity, techniques and benefits for restoring degraded ecosystem. Make a write-up and present your findings to the class. If this has been useful to you, visit me at Mugabi Joshua Biology on YouTube.